Hi, it's Susan Newman, aka Suzy Brandtastic, and I'm here with Beverly Brown Ruggia, the board member of Farms in the Heights. Hi, Beverly.
Hi, Susan. How are you?
I'm good. So first, I would love for you to tell me a little bit more about yourself and how you became involved in some of these community projects.
Sure. I currently work as a community reinvestment organizer for an organization called New Jersey Citizen Action, and I work on policy advocacy for financial reform and consumer protection. I live in Jersey City Heights. I've been living here for about 20 years, and I first got involved with community activities when a friend of mine, Sandy Martini, who also lives in the Heights, and I did a community arts project in Riverview Park. We organized a number of workshops and had children make ceramic tiles to create a little ceramic wall at the north end of the park. And then we later did a giant puppet parade for Halloween, and we made them with a local artist and children and adults in the neighborhood. And that was when I first got involved. I was also a member of Riverview Neighborhood Association and participated in a lot of their activities when I first moved in.
Awesome. And so I noticed on many Sundays I go out to the Riverview Park Farmers Market, and you have a tent set up with making some of the mache objects that we're seeing for this celebration that's coming. So can you talk a little bit about the Day of the Dead celebration that's coming up, and what it's like when the neighborhood children or even adults help and participate in the project?
Sure. Riverview Farmers Market and Riverview Neighborhood Association sort of spontaneously decided to have a Day of the Dead celebration in our park. You know that the Heights is a very diverse neighborhood. We have a lot of Mexicans who live here, and the Day of the Dead is a Mexican festival, and it's a festival, a joyous festival, and a festival that's meant to honor and celebrate our loved ones who have died. So we wanted to do something for the Day of the Dead. It coincides with the last day of what was the last day of our farmers market. We've now extended it, but at the time we decided that we would have a Day of the Dead celebration on November 2nd. And part of the event will include large, giant puppets that we will sort of march around the park a bit. And we decided to make them out of paper mache because that's a light material. And we decided to set up some workshops so that members of the community, mostly children, but adults as well, could come and help us make the puppets. And it is definitely much more enjoyable and exciting when members of the public participate in organizing and making the events that we host and sponsor come about. So having the children there is a way to provide activity for them, but also to get them excited about the event. And because the Day of the Dead is a celebration of the loved ones we've lost, it's important to include everyone and make sure that they get a chance to express their appreciation for their loved ones. And introducing the holiday to children is, at a young age, always makes it something more special for them.
Right. Can you tell me a little bit more about the history and where it all came from?
Sure. It's the Day of the Dead holiday is a Mexican holiday, and it grew out of some Mesoamerican traditions, but also mixed with Catholic traditions when the Catholics got to Mexico. And it has evolved into a very big celebration in Mexico. It's originally, or it starts on, or it's officially, I should say, November the 2nd. But it usually starts before that. There's a lot of preparation that goes into the holiday. People make food, special foods for the day. And often in the home, people build altars where they honor their family members who have died. So they'll put up photographs, they put up favorite foods of their loved ones who died, they put up flowers, all kinds of beautiful things to commemorate their deceased on an altar at home. And so they do that over a number of days. And Day of the Dead, Dia de los Muertos, is often called días or days of the dead. And so it can start as early as a week before or the 31st. And then on November 1st, they often spend time in a cemetery cleaning up the graveyard, putting down flowers, and putting down objects to commemorate their loved ones. And they often stay in the cemetery till very late at night with eating food that their loved ones liked in particular. And they all have musicians playing favorite songs. And it becomes a very festive and beautiful event in the cemetery. And then the next day, the celebration continues. And in the public sphere, it can turn into parades or parties in the public square. And very often there are puppets and people dressed in costumes, and they often have images of skeletons and things that we associate with being dead, but they dress them up and bring them alive. And that's really what it's about, is celebrating and bring to life the people that we miss who died.
So Beverly, who else is involved in this project, and how can people find out more information?
There are a number of artists who've been involved. Santiago Cohen, who's a Mexican-American painter, author, graphic novelist, and illustrator who lives in Jersey City now, has been the lead artist. We've also had Nicholas Buffum, who's on the board of Riverview Neighborhood Association, and a number of other local artists have also helped out. We have information on the Riverview Neighborhood Association website. It's riverviewfarmersmarket.org, and that's where you'll find most of the information about the event. We also have a Facebook page, Day of the Dead Festival, Riverview Day of the Dead Festival. So that's where people can look for information about the event as well.
Fantastic. And I understand that there's going to be music and a dog parade.
Yes.
So maybe you could talk a little bit about that.
Sure. We have a wonderful mariachi band, an all-female mariachi band called Flor de Toloache, which will be performing at 11 o'clock. The event really gets started around 10:30, but Flor de Toloache will play at 11 a.m. And we also will have we're going to have a dog Halloween costume contest. And just as the Day of the Dead around the world has become sort of a hybrid event wherever it takes place, we are mixing in a little bit of Heights culture because RNA has an annual Halloween dog costume contest every year at the Riverview Farmers Market. And so that will take place again this year. And the dog parade will kind of mix in with our puppet to display and walk. So yes, we will have a dog contest. We'll have some giant puppets a little bit like this. So it should be a lot of fun, and the dogs will make it even more interesting.
Yeah. And then I understand that we're going to have some specialty type of foods at the festival. So maybe you could tell us a little about that.
Well, we will have our resident Mexican vendor from the farmers market present. That's El Chilango food truck, and they will be there with lots of tasty Mexican delights. And then we will also have some pastries from a restaurant on Central Avenue called El Cinco de Mayo, and they're going to make a traditional pan de los muertos, which is a sweet pastry kind of bread. And we'll also be serving hot chocolate, which we all know is a Mexican tradition.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for being part of the series.
You're welcome.
I can't wait for the festival.
Thanks for having me, and we can't wait to have you at the festival and everybody else too.